Hello, this is Eexploreon or Chipu. I'm both the Dandy VA and an ex-editor for MCJ. Um, this video is made as an outlet for all VAs who have worked under MCJ, and especially ones in Dandy's world who have not only felt both harassed, but also feeling that they have been underrepresented and most importantly felt very uncomfortable with him. And B, I'm also here to give an outlet to those people because that's what they deserve, and they wanted to make more comments about it, but when MCJ made the apology video, he turned off comments, so they couldn't get their voice out there. So I decided to step up, let them use my channel to get their voice out there more than just their channels. So please listen, it is important to them. Some timestamps are up on screen now for if you'd like to jump to each person. Thank you for listening, and please listen to them. It is their voice and their right to speak out.
This is Britney's VA here speaking. I hadn't been active in the server for a while, mostly due to personal things, but it's shocking to see what had happened while I was gone. I had read in the doc multiple times, just in disbelief of what I had read, especially since we had been working together for what, going to be over a year now. And everything in there was well documented, especially for something that had happened so recently. And honestly, the fact that MCJ was deleting and hiding evidence while everything was going down is just, it's incriminating. My only thoughts on the video were, you said that you wanted to start over, but honestly, how could you defend your own actions with these stalkerish behavior you were just showing? You were doing this to someone without even knowing their age. And I'm pretty sure that, Bassie's VA sounded quite young. Although, admittedly, I had never heard Bassie's VA, especially while she was acting. But I can guarantee that it should have been obvious that she was a minor. And regardless, you are a grown adult. You should have known and you should have checked before even thinking about trying to do this. There is no second chances for behavior like this, and it's disgusting. Look, your actions are just flat out inexcusable.
Hello, this is SG. After hearing MCJ's quote, apology, I have to say that my feelings regarding him and the entire situation remain unchanged. As a matter of fact, I feel like he just dug his grave deeper than he intended to. While he did touch on a few topics in his statement video, I refuse to call it a proper apology for reasons I'll get into. He left out a ton of crucial details and didn't even bother to bring them up, such as the stream on the 19th, which he didn't tell any of us about, and I doubt he ever would had it not been pointed out to begin with, and the video released on the 22nd, which contained jokes that no excuse could ever fix. Funny enough, if he had just admitted his wrongs and called it there, it would have been a much better apology than the excuses he brought up after the fact. Starting with the age problem. MCJ in a statement mentioned that he never knew the age of the Bassie VA, which, in my opinion, just makes his case a lot worse. With MCJ being someone who has an audience of over 20,000 people and managed a whole comic dubbing team, one would think that he'd still give her a proper audition, or at the very least, check to make sure whether or not the Bassie VA was a minor or an adult. Also, the way he carried out the whole situation on the 14th was just unprofessional. And no, it wasn't a disagreement like he stated it was. It was him being reminded of the routine as he simply ignored it in favor of her. At least if the situation ended there, maybe he would have been slightly more redeemable, but I'm afraid that's not the case. Then the role playing. As mentioned in the statement, the runs that MCJ and the Bassivier would go on were part of a, in his words exactly, role playing exercise. This is a terrible excuse for taking an AU, this one in particular revolving around stalking of all the things that could have been chosen, and playing as the stalker to, in his eyes, a complete stranger whom he doesn't even know the age of. Not only that, but the jokes made stem far from what the original material even suggests, with MCJ going as far as to engage in jokes that are just borderline predatory in nature. Especially in the video on the 22nd. That kind of behavior is inexcusable. And finally, his move towards starting anew. While on paper the idea itself seems solid, I'll give him that, it's ultimately flawed, especially in the age department. If anyone was looking to be on the team, they could easily lie about their age in order to get access, and then what are you meant to do? MCJ's attempt to gather a clean slate, especially this soon, just isn't a good idea with everything that's happened. Even with them trying to get former team members to rejoin, team members who, before the doc went live in servers, were DM'd about it first, saying he'd let them back in if they admitted to, quote, understanding his point of view and admitting that what he did could simply be fixed with an I'm sorry. Something like this can't be fixed in such a way, especially in such a short time. I myself had to learn that the hard way. Overall, MCJ's handling of the statement is just insincere, to put it lightly. From him glossing over certain facts to him trying to reconnect with people who already know what he's done, this sounds more like a plea to keep his standing rather than an actual, sincere apology to especially the Bassivier, the victim in this situation. It almost feels as if he skimmed through the first part of the document made detailing the situation, then disregarded the rest and deleted everything before making the video to, quote, apologize. Even the fact that on his video the comments are turned off really says something about him. It's upsetting. Infuriating, even. He already knows how I feel about him, about what he's done. As someone who has been in the situation a year prior, words aren't going to cut it. If he's truly sorry for what he's done, then he'll have to learn the way I've learned a year ago, through self-reflection and self-correcting. I'll leave my statement at that. For anyone managing a team of other individuals, no matter the team, please learn something from this.
Hello, I'm the voice actor for both Scraps and Yada. Before all this had happened, I was never really too active in the server. But being sent that document a few days ago, I have never felt such disgust towards a human being till now. He doesn't even deserve the title of being human, because his actions have brought him far from that. I'd like to take this time to speak out myself. A few months before this went down, I had gone through a similar experience with MCJ. It wasn't my first rodeo with a creepy man on the internet, so it was shut down fairly fast. But to see another girl, more naive than myself, go through the same thing I did pained me to my very core. It was like I was watching an old memory, except it wasn't me. It was them. MCJ, I really hope you're watching this and are listening to every single word I am saying and feel nothing but trepidation and regret. You disgust me and disappoint me to a degree so high, I can't even give it a name. You're a horrible person, and I will make sure
this stupidity of yours follows you for the rest of your life. None of us are coming back. This is not something a half-assed apology can fix.
This apology was probably the worst thing he could have done. He didn't touch on any of the main issues that were being presented, and only really said, "Oh, I did a bad thing. It was for role-playing exercise, and I wasn't aware of their age." But there's no denying it. He definitely knew what he was doing. He was aware of it. But the other people in his life probably weren't aware of it. This apology that he's trying to make, it was the final nail in the coffin. He was not ashamed of what he did. He was ashamed he got caught, and he tried to play it off like a joke, writing an essay that condoned to basically, I didn't do this, I don't like doing this, and tried shutting it down with no real evidence behind it. No screenshots, nothing. It was just him in front of his couch, reading a printed Google Doc, looking away from the camera. And then at the end, he just had to plug his new server, which tipped me off, honestly. How are you going to make an apology video when you then announce a brand new server that is quote-unquote 18 plus? When really you're just trying to get the crowd that you want around you. It's stupid, it's disgusting, and while I may not sound like it, I'm mad. I don't like it. I don't want to see him post again. It's genuinely appalling that he was even allowed to get a sort of bounce back like this. And I hate it. I really don't know what else to say aside from I'm disgusted and I'm angry. But that's really all I can say about it. This entire situation has me disgusted and angry because they're trying to come back not even like a day after everything went down, not even an hour after everything went down, not even after, like, everything's still going on. Why are you trying to bounce back like this? It's stupid. You're digging your own grave. And most of all, it makes it look more guilty. Have a good day, evening, and night. I've said my piece. F*** you, MCJ.
As I mentioned earlier, there were a lot more VAs who had left the server. I counted about 30. A lot of people are against MCJ, and so am I. He has tried to apologize, I say try with heavy displeasure for how he approached the apology. I genuinely didn't find it official, nor did I find it very empathetic, if you will. I don't have the right words for it. However, I also feel that it's unright to just post this video due to the fact that of all the VAs who had moved due to this, only 3 of them felt comfortable commenting and, well, at least voice acting their commenting while 1 typed it up. I feel like more VAs have more things to say about this, but with the time given, and the fact of how serious this case is, and the fact he's trying to make a new channel, I think it'd be better if new VAs know what they're getting into while working with him, and I don't want to wait any longer to disservice to the 3 VAs who are prominently not only horrified, but just disgusted by these actions. A note to MCJ, if you really are trying to change, and this is really a huge misunderstanding, I hate to say it, but for someone who has attempted to delete evidence by unlisting the video, and someone who has turned off comments to prevent others that have commented and pointed out your flaw in what you've done, it has not only made you look more criminalized, but it also has made everyone's trust, including mine, completely vanish. Originally, I had a few doubts, and I ignored the thing with hiring the new VA. My concern was how you were treating her. Not only that, but your new age verification thing won't change what happened. And to be honest, the fact you're trying to do this within a week, rather than giving it a few months, maybe even a year or two to settle down, is truly just mind-bogglingly. I can't even find the words for how not only idiotic it seems, but more the fact that I feel more uncomfortable with letting any new prospect scenario. So if you're listening to this, I hope I never have to work with you again. I'm sorry that we had a good run for 5 years working together, but for something like this, it's just abhorrently unexcusable. And I genuinely feel no remorse for posting this video. If you think I did a disservice to you, well, I have people that say otherwise. I have VAs who would want to come out and speak about it, but they're just not in the right headspace, nor do they feel comfortable doing it. And unless they are able to do that, I don't want to force them into anything. Also, one more thing to the viewers who may be watching this because they have no clue what's going on. I will be posting the documents of what originally had happened, and I'll let the creators of those documents know about possibly because there was evidence of MCJ deleting videos. I believe I sent it to them. If not, I can send it again. But I'll be posting that, and one more thing, this video will stay up permanently. It will not come down when this ball blows over. The evidence sheet, I have a copy of it, so it will never be deleted. I want people to know this is what happened. This is the truth. There is no hiding evidence. We are being as transparent as possible. And I hope that is enough for people to see what we have and understand why we had to do what we did with calling out MCJ and spreading information. Thank you for watching, and have hopefully a better day than me and the other VAs are having.